Yo. Welcome back to another episode of School of Thought Podcast. As always, I'm your boy King James.
It's your boy LB.
And today we got two special guests. We got a mother and we got my daughter who's going to give us some insight to how these young people be acting. Today our special guest is my daughter Taylor and my homegirl Pookie. No, it ain't Pookie from Philly. But yeah, so one of the first topics we're going to deal with is this. We ain't going to get too deep into it because it's a fresh subject and we don't know too much information on it. But we just going to touch on it a little bit. And it's the shooting up at the mall that involved a 13-year-old killing a 15-year-old. So what's y'all thoughts on that?
Yeah. So, for those of y'all who don't know, it was a big shooting that happened in Eastern Mall. Because we got two malls here in Columbus, Ohio. It's Eastern Mall and Eastern Mall. So, it was a shooting that happened. Unfortunately, a 15-year-old lost his life outside the mall. And rest in peace to him. You know, he was a good student, getting ready to start his high school, this year. And from what I hear, he was a good student, football. And actually, he was starting school with my daughter, at Walnut Ridge High School. And I heard some good things about the young man, and heard it was a little altercation, and the young man lost his life, unfortunately. R.I.P. to him. And you guys have any input you want to speak on? I know my niece Tay, she worked with the youth real big,
I mean, I just feel like we need to start charging these parents, and somebody got to start holding these kids accountable. Because as far as I know, if these kids not being held accountable, actions are just going to proceed to progress, and it's just going to continue to be a circle, just going round and round. Because there's going to be retaliation, people upset, people want to get that get back. People thinking with emotions rather than think. How would I say they need to think? I mean, I'm not telling nobody how to act or grieve, but I mean, I feel like people need to start thinking more wise than acting off of emotion, because these are children that we're talking about at the end of the day. Yeah, they make grown folks' decisions, but I mean, it's up to us, the older people, to take steps to stop them from doing what they do.
So, you being a mom, Pookie, having a daughter that's that age, and then having a young son growing up, and what the world turning into today. First let me ask you a two-part question. First, having a daughter that age, if something like that happened to your child, do you feel that the parents should also be responsible for the actions of the child that harmed your child to that manner?
Yes and no, because at some point the parents should be responsible, because why is your child out there at that age by themselves? Because at 13 years old, why is your child at the mall by themselves? Because your child shouldn't be at the mall at 13 years old by themselves. They need their parent with them.
Right.
May I intervene? By all means, go ahead, I will. I'm going to intervene because at the end of the day, we have a lot of single parents nowadays that are raising their kids and they're single parents. These kids is hard-headed. Mm-hmm. They hard-headed, and these parents sometimes can't control them. I'm at work and I'm working second shift, and I'm thinking my child is at home where I left them at, and they didn't caught a ride on Dakota or with a homeboy sister, and they at the mall causing mischief.
My baby
I'm
don't even know the code.
I'm at work. So why me as a parent at work should be held accountable for some things that I already told my kid not to do, not to be there.
Agreed.
You shouldn't be there, but you're there anyway.
But what do we do about the parents that's
But
not
I
told
think
their
it-
kids
And that's
this?
why it's a yes and a no.
Right, but it got to be some type of. It got to be some type of
Thanks for joining us.
non-discipline in the household that to where a 13-year-old feel that carrying a gun is okay. Like when I was 13, I ain't think about having a gun was the last
Me
thing.
neither.
that
I
was
didn't even know
thinking
that
about.
gun
I didn't think
was.
about a gun at
I was
13.
riding bikes.
Yeah,
But this
that-
day and
that-
age, these kids' minds are totally different, and they on way other stuff than we was on. At 13, I was too busy trying to sneak from the south side to the north side to go to the park where everybody hanging out at.
Hanging
Right.
with your friends was a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
At our age, riding bikes.
Going
you know,
outside.
yeah.
Well, now they don't do
But
that.
But see that. Hold on. I'm glad you said that. Not to cut you off, Pookie, but y'all made a good point that at our age, when we was young, we went outside. So then let me ask y'all this: if the kids today not going outside like we did, they sitting in the house, they playing video games and things like that on their phone, on Instagram, making TikTok videos and all this stuff. So if they doing all this non harmful stuff at home, how is me not doing non harmful or non violent stuff at home translating that when I leave out the door, I need to enter a violent mind state.
As a person who work in the school system, I can't tell you as monkey see, monkey do. These
Yeah.
kids see their friends acting out, so they want to act out.
Uh-huh.
So they go into
Yeah.
school, they hearing the friends that's exposed to more doing this, doing that, and it's like, oh, they doing this,
sound
and
fun.
then when they go outside with these friends hanging out with them, then they caught up in that same predicament, one face and one time.
Yeah.
But then they don't understand that when it's time to do the time, they ain't about that life.
Yeah,
It's
they gonna
consequences.
know.
It's
Yeah, they don't know
consequences for
that.
action.
Yeah, they can't do that.
Yeah,
When
but-
their friends can do that time, they can't do that time.
Right.
They ain't about that life.
But I don't think it was by divine that he met this young man at that particular time.
No.
Because the 15-year-old was going to watch a movie, and this 13-year-old had already had a weapon on him. And you meet him at this particular time at the mall, and your intent was to do bodily harm to him.
So it just brings you to the fact of why you as a 13-year-old left your house with the mentality of you needed a gun, and why did you feel you needed to go to the mall and had this gun, and they said it was no altercation between the two boys.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, I seen a post on Facebook and somebody was talking about
Well,
they
hold
would-
on, hold on.
no, it don't deal with the
She
shooting.
allowed to
It does
talk.
not deal with the shooting, but it was somebody was in the movie theater and the people behind them was talking about they about to go fight. Hopefully they don't go to jail today, all this type of stuff. So in my head, from seeing that Facebook post and knowing the situation, I just feel like it was just a lot of commotion happening at the time, and
Unfortunately.
somebody got mad
Unfortunately.
and unforeseen circumstances happened. And
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is a thing that I see a lot with not even just our youths, with adults too, though, in today's society, is that everybody want to talk tough as long as they talking. Everybody want to yell at each other, call each other out their name, and I'll knock you out, and I'll smash this and smash that. But as soon as you got that one dude that's really a fighter, and he rather fight, the one that already know he can't fight, them be the ones that be pulling the guns out and doing the shooting.
Definitely.
So in my head, it's like, if you already know you can't fight or you not gonna fight, why you even arguing with somebody?
Because that's the thing to do. Like, kids get bored, they argue. You go out, it's a confrontation, you argue. I mean, that's just life. I just think like us as black people, and we keep on, oh, let's protest because the cops did this, let's protest because the cops did that. Like, when are we as black people just gonna stand together? Let's protest because this 13-year-old boy, this 13-year-old black boy just killed another 15-year-old kid. Let's protest because a 13-year-old boy and a 15-year-old girl had access to a gun and they robbed the wrestler, shot him, and took his car.
You're going too far.
Let's go. Let's protest as to where's these kids getting these guns from. Let's, as black parents, even if you ain't got a kid, let's show up to these places where these kids are, and let's try to figure out what's going on. Let's show up in a group. Let's show that the black parents can be in unity versus us fighting against each other as well.
Right.
Maybe if they can see us being in unity, maybe they'll see that and be like, oh, dang, if they all can get along, maybe we can get along. But we'd be out in public as grown-ups, and another grown-up would say something, we'd be ready to bust them in the face or shoot them. So, I mean,
ready to shoot nobody.
I don't be ready to shoot
sometimes
nobody
I do-
either,
but
but I
sometimes
do
I
be ready
do
to bust
be-
somebody in the face. But I know if I bust them in the face, 9 times out of 10,
They got a gun.
they might have a gun.
Yeah.
So then
I don't bust them in their face though.
But then this needs to be. So then the interesting factor in all of this seems to make it seem like that we as people, we can't conversate with each other without getting angry,
About the violence.
because that's what it sounds like.
And not only that, we as so-called African Americans, we don't get along. I've worked in the public sector where you would have the Somalians. They had come from a refugee from the country. They had come over here, and it'd be a Somalian that don't even know them, and then invite them and their kids and everybody in the house into their home and welcome them and say, hey, y'all stay here until y'all get on y'all feet. Now let a black man move down here from Wichita or somewhere else and be like, oh brother, can I move with you until I get on my feet? Hell no, he ain't gonna move with him. They not gonna do it.
You.
It's just that we just don't have that unity, and it comes way back when they brought us over here in this country. It's the Willie Lynch factor.
Yeah.
It come way over there, and we still have that same mentality where we don't like each other, or we trying to be better than each
With a
other.
car with a barrel.
Yeah, you climb up, I'm pulling you back down. It's still to that fact, like, it's still there, and that's what we gotta break.
But I think when you talk about stuff like that, I think that's just something that individually a person don't want to get out of. And the reason why I say it's individually, because you got a lot of people that don't move like that. You got a lot of people that do. Like for me myself, I don't care what status you on. I don't care if you a multi-billionaire. I don't care if you homeless. I look at everybody through the same eye. You human. I don't put no famous person on no pedestal. I don't treat them like because they famous, they better than this person over here that's less fortunate. You're on the same playing field as a human being.
Right.
You just a man.
That's you.
You just a woman.
That's you.
But we got people that idolize these celebrities.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. But why? Why? Like you said, we got people that idolize these celebrities. But why are you idolizing somebody that's the same thing as you?
Because they don't see that.
They just got lucky.
They see the money, they see the cars, they see the clothes. They see
but
all
that's
that.
all material.
But that's what they want to have. So that's why they idolize that person. Oh, this person do this, so I want to do that. That's why everybody want to be rappers. Everybody want to be ball players.
So
Everybody want to do the
really
same thing to get that same stuff that they.
Everybody
see
want
people
that
got.
fast money, that fast, that being a rapper, boom, I can have a hit on YouTube, boom, I can sign a record deal with Sony, boom, I got me a contract. Everybody want that basketball, everybody want that football, but that's not in the play for everybody. But to go back to the Willie Lynch factor and what you saying, like, it's your mentality. Even back then, it was some slaves that didn't feel like, oh, that slave is better than me, or they felt like it was an even playing field. Like, it's each individual and how they perceive things. So everybody's not gonna have the per se the Willie Lynch factor, but it's quite a few of them that do have that, where it's like, okay, that 13-year-old could have seen the 15-year-old boy, this nigga think he all that, look at his shoes. It could have been something simple as that, because it was no exchange of words. He got on the new J's that came out 2 weeks ago. I couldn't afford to get them. So I'm about to shoot this dude. It could have been something as simple as that.
Or just the power of the gun.
Yeah, just like how Tupac was in Juice. These are all my homeboys, but because I got this gun in my hand, I'm tougher than everybody else.
Ain't nobody worried about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just think, man, people, we got to change the way that we think.
We do, and that's where it comes down to.
Well, you know, we got ignorant parents leading their kids.
Facts.
And ignorance
That's where it
can't lead
starts.
ignorance.
Facts, because I just
Facts.
seen a post.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
I seen a
Yeah.
post where the grown woman, the 13-year-old that killed the 15-year-old. I seen a post where a grown woman was on there calling him bitches, motherfuckers, just going in on this 13-year-old boy. I understand, yeah, he killed the 15-year-old boy, but it's like, in my head, I still see him as a 13-year-old. I know he a murderer, but I still see him as a 13-year-old. Not saying he don't deserve to get punished, but in my head, I'm trying to figure out. It's kind of like when they did what's that thing called when the football players did it and then they kill themselves? CT. It's kind of like when they got that. While we got these kids and they alive and he 13. Let's try to figure out like what's making these kids tick.
Right,
What's making them do this? What was the reason that you felt that you needed to take this gun and do that? And let's try to get to the bottom of it before these kids get killed.
Yeah, because I think the thing is killing somebody, harming people is just glorified. It's a glorified act.
Right.
You know, you kill somebody, nobody be like, nobody gonna pull him to the side, you know, of his peers. Gonna pull him to the side and say, damn, bro, like, nigga, you ruined your life. And you ruined his life. They like, nah. Everybody wanna film stuff and they people laugh about, man, nigga just smoked this nigga and shot this nigga in his face. Hold on, bro. Somebody lost his life. Even like
Somebody lost a child.
like with the woman.
Shoot, they both lost their child.
Yeah.
One
Right.
just lost it to jail, and
That
one
was in
lost
the
it to a
restaurant.
Like,
grave.
but see me now being an adult and I look back on stuff. I understand when people used to say that they both lost a child. You really ain't lose a child though.
So what you think the
You
child?
still get to see them.
Right. You ain't lose a child because you can
This
still
child is
talk to
still
your
here.
child. You can write letters to your child. At least with your child being in prison
No child is still
or locked up,
Right.
you know that their chances of living a productive life in prison is still good versus being out here on the
Child
street
still
knowing
get to
that
see a baby.
people now that
Facts.
might be wanting to hurt him and stuff.
Right.
So, but the thing is,
They could hurt
I-
her from jail.
right, but this is what I'm
So
saying.
either way it
This
goes,
is what I'm
he's gonna be
saying.
looking over his shoulder.
It's a difference
He's a kid
between
now, so he gets
me losing my child to jail and me losing my child to I don't never get to see my child again. I don't never get to hear my child's voice again.
Yeah.
Even if my child was in jail, I don't never get the letter from my child again. Nothing about my child do I ever get to get again. Everything is just memories and pictures. And but hearing my child's voice, you took all that away. You took my possible grandkids away. You took any chance of success that my child may have had. Anything that he could have did in this world to change this world. You took all that away for what reason though? Like, come on, bro. We got to do and it is like y'all said, you got some of these parents out here that's just so ignorant
Ignorant as hell.
that even when somebody is chastising their kid and you see the chastisement they giving your kid is what your kid need, but you would sit up there and don't talk to my kid like that. And this,
That's
that,
exactly
that,
how
that.
they be.
That's
That's why
crazy.
it's like, whatever happened to that village? They used to take a village. I remember my neighbor would be yell at me and be like, "You better get in the house."
Well, they
Right.
see the village now as you disrespecting their
Yeah,
parents.
yeah. And you get so many parents
Even
that
in
want to fight
school.
with
But
us.
that's not. No.
You say
This
even
is the
school.
best.
Even in schools.
Right.
they
I
used
know.
to-
We got
We
parents
had
that be blocking us.
pedals. We used to have the little bats. Like,
But that's
even
the
in high
main
school,
thing.
little
man.
plastic
So y'all
bat.
was allowed corporal punishment in
What?
Chicago?
Ain't no discipline
Football,
no
But
more.
sometimes-
basketball, punishment.
Sometimes now the people that you allow in the village take it too far
Yeah, I can see
because
that.
they disrespect your kids.
I can see that.
Like no.
But what is too far though? Is it
I was about to ask.
I
is
just
it
said-
cussing?
Yeah, disrespecting your kids. Like come on now.
It's the way you discipline somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like come on now.
Like you
I
should.
allow you
But
in
hold
my
on.
village and you disrespect.
But let me
my
ask
kids.
you
I done
this.
seen it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I done
I've
seen
seen
it.
it.
I've seen
Now
it.
I don't allow you in my village and you disrespecting my kids.
No,
now?
we ain't gonna disrespect.
Come on
you.
now, and I done seen it.
Yeah.
But let me ask you
Now
this.
you gotta get out my village. Now,
But
you
is
out
it
of my
is the
village.
Not you
But-
gotta cut my
Pick it up.
For
village.
real. You taking their hood?
She said you gotta cut my village.
Yeah.
You
But-
up out. You up through.
what's wrong with disciplining the kid
I allow people
and
to
possibly
discipline my
being
kids.
over aggressive with a kid to drive your
allow
point
it.
across when our parents disciplined us like that?
No.
Yeah, our parents threatened us.
No, I'm not talking about. I just don't believe that nobody else should be overly aggressive when disciplining somebody else's kid. Like my kids is grown, and I don't want nobody overly disciplining them. You're not gonna come at them extra aggressive because if you coming at them aggressive, then that's gonna make my
Like
mama
little
pop up.
bitches and all that. That's
Oh, no,
that's
no.
too much.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's
Yeah,
way
now
too
That
I'm
is
grown,
crazy.
so I can
Yeah,
handle
like
mine. I
Oh, yeah,
let
that's way
people.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, I let people join my village, but
Oh,
when
yeah,
you
I'll take-
overly like little
But
bitches
this-
and stuff,
Oh,
but
yeah,
this
they,
is what-
they
this
hunt need to
you
go.
gotta
But
get
this
out
is
my
what I
village.
used. But this is what I used to
They
say,
gotta
and this
go.
is even in high
Go.
school. The teachers, some of the parents, and this is when I went to school.
Oh, you went to school?
Yeah, I went to Marshall. You better recognize.
John Marshall.
Right.
They used to come. The parents used to come like, look, he failing in this class, this and that. We used to have we have our little pen. Oh, look, you said this to this teacher. Oh, your mama said this and that. We used to have a pedal. Curse words, this and that. This how it was. Look, you can't play in this game. Every curse word you said, it was a paddle. Oh, you got this in this grade. This was our coaches.
Whooping your ass?
Oh, yeah.
My coach named me Spring. I don't know nothing about getting whooped by a coach.
I don't know if I will allow somebody to put their hands on my
So
child.
we ain't getting no whooping, but shit, we got
But I
paddle.
never had that because I kept
Yeah.
praise and
Y'all
I
didn't
was
get whoopings and
respectful.
y'all
and-
are
We
older.
got paddle.
Yeah, that
I
paddle
didn't
was
get no-
still.
Oh, I got
serious.
whooping by my mom.
I didn't know
No, I'm
that.
saying in school.
Nah, I got paddle. Not no
My
whooping
mom
though.
would not.
At
My
elementary
mom,
school,
now my
we
mom
still
was one
had
of those moms that
Yeah.
you better not touch my kid. You better not hit my kid. Now she was one of those. Yeah,
That's because your
oh,
mom
yeah.
was gonna hit you.
Yeah, because my mom, because if you come and tell my mom I did something, she was gonna discipline me.
That little
So
black
there was
rubber
no need. You don't even gotta talk about that belt.
I'm just saying that black rubber belt.
And it's a shame that she still had that same black belt that she used to whoop our butts with when
They got
they
the
got
same-
older.
She
It's that
probably
same
still
belt.
got it
She
now.
probably still got it. It was a black one and it was a brown one.
Just, and it was this
Elementary
big.
school,
Typical
it was
color.
Indian
It was
sunburns.
this big. It had no
It was
buckle on or
pinches,
nothing. Just a
And
straight
it was
belt.
that Fisher Price classic bet.
Yeah,
I still remember it to this day.
yeah, but they got
See, these kids nowadays, they don't know nothing about whooping. They
Mhm.
don't get whoopings.
I
I
be
be
asking
asking them kids at work. I
That's-
be like, you
hey,
get whoopings?
you know what?
No.
No.
I'm like, you They need don't
And
get
that's the
whoopings
problem.
at all.
I
Yeah.
think that's one of the problems.
when they
is-
take whoopings off.
is ain't no discipline.
Yeah, when they took whoopings
Nah.
and call child services if your
But
mom
it's
hit
from
you.
everywhere. Ain't no discipline from the court system
No.
Yeah.
on down. Ain't
But
no discipline.
I think I'm just curious to know, even with
And
this
that's scary.
13-year-old boy, is his mom really a single parent? Did he come from a single household?
It didn't look like a dad was on court.
Well, they
when
showed
it
him
was on court.
at court, and the mom was only there, but it was just a arraignment.
And then
I bet you. Yeah,
and then y'all see the 13 and 15-year-old that shot the Ohio State wrestler?
hey,
I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that's
You
what
ain't
I'm
see
like,
that last
these
week? They
young
robbed him for his
Hey.
car.
kids-
The
Yeah.
13 and the 15.
It was a
They
15-year-old
robbed him
girl.
for his car in
Yeah, it was a
the. They
girl.
robbed him
Girl.
for his car in the alley.
Both
Oh,
of them was
yeah.
girls.
He gave
One
him
was
the
13.
car.
He gave him the
He
stuff,
gave him
and
the car, and they still
they
shot him.
shot
Yeah.
him.
Shot him anyway. Even after he gave him the car, they still shot him.
Then the 13-year-old just did shooting at what,
Yeah.
Dairy Queen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't 30. He was
Right.
7,
He was a little-
15.
little
But
older.
that don't even matter.
He was
It's the
15.
fact that they don't be
What-
grown.
They
What we
17,
saying is that they
18,
teens, they
all are
kids. Like,
kids.
where's all these kids getting these guns from?
And why are y'all being exposed
Breaking in cars.
to it?
But you
And
know
they
what?
don't
You
care.
know
They
what
ain't
I
scared
wondered?
to
Because
talk
I
nothing.
said this when
They,
I went
they have
to
no respect for
a
life.
court hearing
Yeah.
about the statistic of these kids. I said, when you got these fathers even in child support, I say, do you think a father is really still going to be active when
I
you
wouldn't. I
tryna-
ain't gonna go lie to you.
you know what I mean?
If
'Cause
you
I'm like,
put me on child
you
support
put
and I'm
these-
sending you money, I don't see no reason for me to be in the kid life.
But that's like, no,
You get-
I beg to differ because
Mm.
that's
Mm.
like, okay, if we still together and you the father and you in the home and you got to take care of your kid. So if you saying if you in the home and you paying the bills and stuff in the home, is you saying when your kid come home you'll walk out of the house?
No, that's
No,
different
you
because
go-
we
you
together.
go- you
but
go
I'm
through
saying
a
if I'm
diff-
on child support and you being bitter
but you
towards
go through
me,
you go through a different
why would
court.
struggle?
That's
You
that's-
go
that's-
you go through a different court.
y'all corrupt.
for-
That doesn't make sense.
No,
How's
but
we corrupt?
you go through a different
No.
court for visitation for your kid.
I'm saying, like, if y'all cordial, because she making it like, if she had to pay child support, she don't care if you want to be cordial or not and allow me to see my kid. I still don't want to see my kid if I'm paying child support on this kid. That's what she's
So
saying.
so what's the purpose of child support then?
Child support is to financially support your kid. What about your kid's
But what if
emotional
I am
well-being?
still financially supporting this kid and you put me on child support because you money
So then what, you get bitter and then you just stop being there for your kid? I'm glad you a woman.
Shoot.
Me too. But you just got some men that are
Say
like
me
that.
too.
But I get what she's saying is, I'm already taking care of our kid.
Right, if you already taking
But
care of
even
your
though I'm
kid.
taking care of our kid together, you go file for child support just so you can try to get extra money out of me.
money.
Yeah.
So if you doing that, then we really not being cordial
Yeah, now you losing my
in the
what
parenting.
now
I
you
bit.
understand that, but what I'm saying is
You losing my kid
it's
as leverage over me.
financially. That's child support is financially.
Right.
So what about your kid's emotional well-being? Like you just being there for your kid as the dad or being there as the mom. Like your kid still needs you regardless if
Yeah,
the
the
mom.
kid need me,
So
but
it's,
you ain't
so
gonna use
what,
the kid
what,
as
whatever
leverage.
the mom did could be spiteful. It could be spiteful. She could have did it for any reason. But does the kid deserve to be punished because the mom is spiteful? No, I'll answer it myself since nobody
No,
else
the kid
wanted to.
don't. But when the
No.
mom is being spiteful, you causing a rift between me and the kid
the
because you causing issue between me and you co-parenting where it might have been we was co-parenting fine,
Right.
but all of a sudden you just want to switch up for no reason. Now, because now every time we come around each other, I come and get my kid. If you say something to me about some money, the first thing I'm gonna say is, dude, I already take care of him. Then on top of that, I'm paying child support,
So
and now
what
you
if
asking
what
me
if
for
they're not
extra
asking
money?
for money? They're just like, hey, can you watch your kid? You want to come?
I don't
you
watch
should- you
my
should-
kid.
Okay,
That's
so
different.
that's all. Then.
But don't be expecting me to like buy
I
the
wouldn't.
kids something.
They shouldn't expect financial
and I'm on
support if you
child
are getting
support.
child support. Don't come
And
saying
expect
they
me to
need
take
food
you to
clothes.
court
But
to get
but
custody
then
of the kid.
that dappers a lot of situations with the, like this 13-year-old or like this kid that's robbing the wrestler guy or
It
shooting
could be
the
the
wrestler.
fact.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because now these kids is in these households
But
and
then
it's
that-
like it
that
trickles
stuff right
down
there,
to the relationship.
That probably causes a lot of stuff what kids is going through now.
You see what I mean?
With moms.
With anger,
Because
it's-
moms
Be angry as
take
hell.
kids' money.
You
and
see?
Yeah.
Because
That
now
probably
you're not
causes
doing the
a
right
lot of
stuff
kids
with them.
to act out
It
like
do.
that.
And
And
moms,
then a
Because
lot of
moms take kids' money.
they do, and they be bitter and angry with the
kids
dad.
be-
Not even money, like the dad could
Because
try and do
kids be
something
wanting
nice for
certain
a kid.
stuff.
Right.
And they can't get certain stuff because their mama be taking
And
their
they have
money.
to
Or
dig
you
in
trying to
their
do
ass.
something nice
So,
for the kid,
now I
and the
gotta
parent
go
taking and
out
selling.
and rob.
Or the
because I
siblings
want
taking
this
and
and I want
selling
that.
And now
So
they
now I
feeling-
gotta go out there
And
and
they
rob.
feeling a
for
certain
this
type
stuff.
of way towards the dad.
Now I gotta go
Thinking
rob
that
and get what
daddy
I
really
want
not
because my
tending
mama
to
done
me,
spend all my
or
child
he really
support
not
money and I
around
can't get
me.
what I want. So
Or
now I
the-
gotta go out there and rob and get.
Are they being verbally abusive towards the kid?
Because they mad at the dad.
Mad at the
That's
Mad
dad.
at
kids
that.
are-
Oh, you ain't
That's
gonna be shit
crazy.
just like your
That's
Yeah,
dad.
I know y'all be seeing in Facebook posts of
That's
their moms
crazy.
that be texting, oh, your dad this, your dad that.
Yeah, I've
oh,
seen
he ain't coming
Oh,
to
your
see
daddy
you.
ain't paid our child support this
I was-
month, so now
I know
you
it might be
ain't
funny
getting
though,
it.
but I was watching Zatima, and Zach's mom. It's the typical mom. Like literally, like his mom was mad at the dad. So everything that the dad did to her, she took it out on the kid, which messed him up in the
Yeah.
long run. Like, you ain't gonna be shit. You just like your dad. Look at your little ugly ass. Then she like, oh, I took you to your dad when you was born, and your dad didn't want you. I should have aborted you when I should have aborted you. Kids,
But that do be another thing though,
kids
because if a
have
man
to
expresses
that.
he don't want a kid with you, and you decide to keep that kid rather than abort it, then who fault is it that your child dad not in their life?
Both of y'all.
Both of y'all, because he should have made
No,
sure that he
because-
was protection so that you couldn't get pregnant.
But if I'm
one.
telling you I'm with the kid, and then it be some
And number
dudes and they
two-
get abortion money
But
and
I
the mom
think
and they
if the
just use it
Still
for
going
something
forward
else.
with
says that he don't want the kid and you don't abort it, then that's your
Because
issue.
personally,
Take
me,
care
if a
of
man
it.
tell me he don't want the kid, I'm gonna
Take
face the
care of
fact
it.
that I might be
Yeah,
a
that's
single
gonna
mom.
be a single mom.
I ain't gonna
Face
force
that
nobody to
fact.
be no
Yeah.
dad.
Face
They
that
take-
fact and take care of the kid.
But then they'll still go to child support afterwards.
Put your big girl panties on
And
and
if you
take
go
care
to
of
child
them kids.
support, then get that money and take
Yeah.
care of the kid. I
Yeah.
don't care.
I would go to child support if we laid down
But,
together
I
and
mean-
we got and you say you don't want no kid, but I actually ended up getting pregnant, and then I come to you like, hey, I'm pregnant, and then you be like, oh well, I told you I ain't want no kid, nigga. I ain't want one either, but we got
But
one.
now
So
we
what
got
we gonna
one.
do?
Right.
I don't believe in abortion, so what we gonna do?
You should have popped that Plan B.
But see, then you pushing.
No more than after.
But see, then you pushing your belief on him.
On him.
Hey,
You
what
see
they
what I
say?
mean?
It's
So
my
it's
body.
like-
Right. So, and
Yeah.
that's why a lot of dudes is
So why?
stepping away because
how
women
come-
is saying it's my body. I'm gonna do. You
know,
don't tell me. Okay, well,
Woman,
I told you I want no
woman,
kid.
woman,
Woman's
How-
a young lady.
Yeah, whatever. How come it's okay that a woman get a choice, but the man can't get a choice?
And then he
First
on
of
child
all,
support.
it ain't his body that's going through all this
That's why y'all
stuff.
should use protection.
We ain't bond. He's
So
not
why-
bonding with this
So why, if
baby.
you know that this man don't want no baby by you, why would you put yourself
What if she
through
took
all this
advantage
stuff
of him?
So
with a
why?
baby that the man don't
So then my
want?
point is, if this man know he don't want a baby, why he going around humping?
What if
You
she
know
took
that
advantage
baby
of him?
Or use
So
protection.
use protection.
What if she took advantage of him?
I don't know if that's completely possible.
What if he was? What
So
if
you
he
don't
was-
think the man can get taken?
Protection.
a man
Why
could never
is
took
there
advantage.
not protection?
A man couldn't get took advantage
When
of
did
him.
Who
they
gave
stop
you
using
use protection?
protection?